Hey there, Chris Bassett here, and I'll be showing you how to change a tire on your 2009 Pontiac G6. Let's get into it. So, safety first. If you're in traffic, try to get away from traffic and then pull your car onto a flat, stable surface. Make sure you put on your hazard lights. You can see my tire has a deformity in the sidewall, so that's why we're changing it. So it's just in my garage where it's clean and safe. If you can help it, apply the parking brake and put some wheel chocks so that your car doesn't roll. And then press the trunk button to open your trunk. We're going to grab your jack handle, spare tire, lug wrench. These should be in your trunk under your floor mat, so just lift it up and look in there. Make sure that your spare tire is inflated as well. You may need to look under the tire and then unscrew a handle to release everything from the trunk. It would be secured. Next, you want to find a jack location. So look underneath the car. Since I'm doing the front right passenger, I'm going to be jacking up that side of the car, but you'll want to look for locations that are secure, solid metal, next to the tire that you'll be changing. So I pointed to that position on the front, and then here's also the position on the back. This looks like it's metal. Your jack should fit in that hole, allow you to jack up the vehicle. But first, we're going to break the lug nuts off. So I do this while the vehicle's still on the ground. Grab yourself a lug wrench, and then go ahead and make sure that it is fully engaged with the lug nuts. Some tires have caps. So if it's a plastic cap, make sure you remove that first. It should be a solid metal nut that you'll be breaking loose. They can be on there pretty tight, so you know, sometimes you got to jump on the handle, but just go ahead and break all the lugs loose while it's still on the ground, and then we'll jack it up in the next step. So if you are using the jack from your trunk, this is what it looks like. The top engages the vehicle, and then you just turn this threaded bolt in or out to lower or raise the vehicle. Since I'm in my garage, I'll be using my 80-year-old jack, which has a check valve right here. Just put a screwdriver in there, turn it clockwise to lock it, then you can jack it up and it'll hold position, and then just turn it counterclockwise to lower it. So that's the check valve mechanism. If you have a newer jack, you can also do this with the handle. So you would take the actual handle of the jack, spin it clockwise to lock it, then you could pump it to jack it into place, and then turn that same handle counterclockwise to lower the vehicle back to the ground. You can see I've pumped it up, and now you want to have a little bit of a gap underneath your tire. That way that when you do take the lugs off, the tire isn't stuck on the concrete and you can wiggle it out. So I'd say at least an inch off the ground. So now that it's on the in the air, we'll finish undoing all the bolts. Shouldn't take very much effort to get them all off. But once it's loose, you know, make sure that the nuts are in a safe spot. You don't want to lose them. Then you can grab the tire and shake it side to side to kind of break it loose. If it's really stuck on there, you could smack it with a rubber hammer to kind of break it loose. And if the tire is high enough off the ground, it should just come off. You can now set the tire off to the side, make sure it doesn't roll away, but then get the car prepared to put on the spare. Since I'm in my garage, I can use a jack stand, but if you're out in traffic, you know, you just leave your jack underneath it while you're swapping out the spare tire. I'd also like to mention, if you are doing this like on the interstate or somewhere busy, keep your head on a swivel because people like to drive like maniacs. They won't get over. So make sure you are being cautious and staying safe. Okay, now we're putting the spare tire on. Make sure the valve stem is facing towards you and that the configuration of the spare looks like this. I've seen people put the spare tire on backwards, and that's a big no-no. So make sure you can see the valve stem and that the tire looks like this, and then we'll just load the tire onto the bolts. Do not, I repeat, do not put it on backwards. I have seen people do that, so don't do that. It goes on like this. Alrighty, so now we're just going to reverse all the steps we just did. So you'll put your tire over the lugs. Then you will put each lug nut on back with your hand tight first. So just grab it, thread it on there, and oh, that magically flew up into my fingers. But once they're, you know, in there by hand tight, then you'll take the wrench and you'll snug it down, not super hard, but you'll put it back on in a star-shaped pattern. Once they're on snug, you can then lower the vehicle back to the ground and then tighten everything down with the lug wrench. Remember, keep it in a star-shaped pattern, so don't just go in a circle, but tighten it down with your foot or whatever you got to do. If you put on a spare tire, make sure to take that into a shop as soon as possible so you can get that fixed. Check out some other videos over here. I've got some Amazon links for the parts I've used down in the description. If you want to help support at no extra cost, use those links. I really appreciate it. Any other questions or comments, put below. Thanks.